In this fiery red world, there seems to be no other creatures other than the illusory golden monster python leading the way. It is no wonder, after all, the living conditions here are too harsh, if it is not for the illusory golden monster python, which lives by swallowing magma, the alien beasts, other beasts. I am afraid that even the overlord-level beasts with the strength comparable to the strength of the Emperor, it is impossible to come and go in this kind of place freely without being affected at all. Just moments before Xiao was about to plunge into the fiery red lava lake, milky white flames suddenly gushed out of his body and finally completely wrapped his body in it. The illusory golden demon python's body was projected directly into the molten lava, splashing fiery red lava. Hearing this sound, Xiao above hurriedly shifted his gaze to the place where the magma fluctuated, but he never saw a half-person figure. Where's the person? Seeing the scene that was almost evaporated in an instant, Xiao couldn't help turning his head and shouted at the Golden Dragon King beside him. Looking at the lava lake that didn't move at all, the illusory gold monster python that had just drilled down seemed to be instantly turned into ashes when it came into contact with the lava, and it didn't even let out a scream. Follow! The Golden Dragon King seemed to be thinking about something, and then said to Xiao. Xiao also heard the words of the Golden Dragon King, and used his soul power to control the strange fire to surround himself, and without hesitation, jumped directly towards the place where the illusory golden demon python had just disappeared. The temperature was really high in the beginning. If Xiao hadn't possessed the physique and body protection that had been tempered by the different fire, he might not have been able to endure it for even a minute. With his body floating in the fiery magma, Xiao looked at the slowly flowing fiery red magma all over his body with surprise, and a huge bubble slowly emerged beside him. Then, with a loud bang, it exploded and some magma splashed onto Xiao face. But in an instant, it was swallowed by the layer of milky white flames. Xiao followed the route of the illusory golden demon python for a few minutes, and an independent space appeared. There is still another secret in this underground world. Xiao stared at the front in surprise. What appeared in front of Xiao eyes was not a high temperature like molten lava, but a small, dead world. The low sound of water droplets and the steps leading to nowhere gave people a feeling of trembling. The Zijin monster python also ran out without looking back, indicating that Xiao seemed to be a fatal threat here. Master this? Xiao also asked worriedly. Let's go, it's here. The Golden Dragon King said to Xiao. Xiao carried the Yuyanhua hung ancient ruler on his back. The soul of the Golden Dragon King stood on his shoulders, and the two walked up the steps step by step. According to what Yueru said, this should be the crescent moon green fruit. Xiao looked at a fruit tree in front of him, and regardless of the 3721, he put all of it in his pocket. It's not the most precious thing yet, let's go. King Jinlong said, step by step, minute after minute. The pure white light shrouded this gray silence. Xiao looked at it calmly, and even faintly saw, in the pure white light, a pink flower was standing gently. Colorful healing flowers? When Xiao glanced at this cyan flower, the Golden Dragon King's voice with great joy suddenly sounded in his heart. The colorful and flaming flower. It is rumored that this flower is only born in the purest place between heaven and earth. Only people with sincere hearts, and must also have the blood of the angel family. Otherwise it cannot be subdued. The colorful flowers are divided into 7 colors. Legend has it that it is one of the treasures of the angel family. If you master the 7 colors, you can live and die. I don't know if it's true. The Golden Dragon King looked at the pink flowers in front of him. Road. Master, have we found it? Xiao was also overjoyed when he heard the Golden Dragon King's way. He didn't expect to find such a precious treasure so easily. Hey, right? I didn't expect to meet it here. It's also a kind of fate. Sure enough, Yuan was cheaper in the end. A smirk flashed in the Golden Dragon King's eyes. Go and take a look? Xiao also took a deep breath to suppress his inner excitement, and didn't pay much attention to what the Golden Dragon King Patriarch said. Let's go. I will help you keep an eye on the changes around you. The Golden Dragon King also said carefully. As his body got closer and closer to the pure white light, Xiao could clearly feel that the temperature around his body was almost suddenly rising. He pursed his dry lips. Xiao gritted his teeth and stepped on the soles of his feet again. His body finally rushed into the shroud of pure white light. The body entered the pure white light, and the expected blazing heat did not arrive as expected. Instead, the temperature of the whole body dropped a lot. But Xiao originally depleted fighting qi, and even the power of his soul, seemed to step into the pure white, instantly moisturized within the radiant range. Xiao was also stunned at this somewhat miraculous scene after a while. When he came back to his senses, his eyes hurriedly swept around and finally stopped on the pink flower in the center. It is still a pink flower bone. The flower is divided into 7 leaves, and the bottom is also 7 cyan leaves and a rhizome that looks as transparent as jade, as if the most perfect sapphire is naturally perfect. The whole flower looks crystal clear at a glance, making people feel like they can't put it down. Xiao also looked closer and closer to this holy flame. The strange fire on his body also illuminated the originally dark space a lot, and a shocking scene appeared. He didn't pay attention at first, but when the light shone, Xiao realized that next to the flower, the 7 green leaves at the bottom were firmly locked by 7 chains. Master, this... Xiao also looked at the 7 dark chains with great anger, because he felt a wave of evil power from the 7 dark chains. Without the Golden Dragon King saying it, he knew that it must be outside the realm again. The means of the evil race. Damn it! The Golden Dragon King also saw the 7 dark chains, and couldn't help but curse loudly. There is no one who is more ruthless than the Golden Dragon King. This little pink sapling is suspended in the endless darkness, like duckweed in the sea, drifting everywhere. If it wasn't for the illusory golden monster python to lead the way this time, with Xiao ability, it would even be courting death. It is impossible to find such a relatively small flower in such a huge area. Master, what should I do now? Xiao looked at the strange object in front of him, but he was helpless, and he didn't dare to act recklessly. Because this is Yuyanhua's, and even the necessities for himself to conquer the holy flame in the future. Since we met, it's your fate. This is something you can't find. So, let me come. The soul of the Golden Dragon King also said solemnly. An aura of a giant dragon awakened from ancient times emanated from the Golden Dragon King's body. I am optimistic. The Golden Dragon King said slowly, obviously facing Xiao. An ancient aura gradually radiated from Xiao's body. Although there was no huge fighting spirit, the aura was fascinating, as if a strong man who had experienced many years had awakened. His eyes and actions were full of the flavor of the years. Colorful Yuyan flower, I never imagined that I would see you in my lifetime. In that case, I have the confidence to cultivate Qingyuan into a true generation of angel wings. The angel family has been silent for too long, and it's time to show their true strength. You shouldn't have appeared in this world, but since you have appeared, you should really exert your power, and you shouldn't be buried in this abyss of the underground world. Let me take yours out. Find an angel who is truly suitable for your approval, and let you shine. The Golden Dragon King's golden pupils stared at the flower in front of him, and at the moment when the Golden Dragon King spoke, The pink flowers seem to have changed a little bit. Since you know what I mean, you still need your cooperation. Although the evil power of this chain is weak, I am worried about other things, and there are things that I can't solve by myself in the state of my soul. The Golden Dragon King stared at Live that because of his own words, there is a slight change in the Flower Road. The seven-colored Yuyanhua is worthy of being the most magical treasure in the world. When the Golden Dragon King spoke, a pure white light radiated from the whole body. Obviously, this is the seven-colored Yuyanhua's plan to use her last strength and the evil seven chains to make it. The last fight. Bang, bang, bang. The Golden Dragon King was overjoyed when he saw the colorful and glowing flowers. It was quiet for so many years, and it was time for the final struggle. Immediately, the Golden Dragon King chanted a mysterious incantation, and a huge vortex appeared around Xiao Yan's body. Another power of the Golden Dragon King. Devour. The colorful healing flowers and the seven jet-black chains exuding an evil aura were fighting to the death. The jet-black light and the pure white light were at a stalemate. 1 minute, 2 minutes. The battle continues, and the pure white light is gradually suppressed by the jet-black light. Go! Xiao Yan's body was controlled by the Golden Dragon King. After the Golden Dragon King completed the spell, the vortex in front of him became bigger and bigger, exuding a huge suction force. Facing the jet-black light, he attacked. Puff, puff. The huge vortex was drawn away by the powerful suction against the jet-black light. The jet-black light had just swallowed up the pure white light, because as long as the pure white light was swallowed up, their seven chains could be reborn. But who would have expected a whirlpool to appear suddenly? And the power emanating from this whirlpool is the nemesis of evil forces. The jet-black light was like seeing a ghost and hurriedly ran away. The seven chains that had originally firmly locked the seven leaves of the seven-colored Yuyan flower were also slightly loosened at this moment. The huge golden vortex made them all feel terrified, even fear, because they all know that if they are absorbed in, it will be doomed. Golden Dragon King? How can it be? The figure transformed by the seven chains was swallowed one after another into the vortex of the Golden Dragon King before he had time to tell any more. Bang, bang, bang. The seven dark chains resembled the sound of glass breaking, and they were absorbed into the vortex and disappeared without a trace. Hey, it seems that my worries are too much. The Golden Dragon King looked at the seven figures who disappeared and said, the reason why the Golden Dragon King wanted to awaken the last trace of the colorful Yuyanhua was because he was afraid that there would be other powers besides these seven figures. Just in case, the other was to devour these demons to gradually recover. Own strength. The extraterritorial evil clan also has the division of strength, which can be basically summarized into 5 levels: heaven, earth, respect, emperor, and king. In the past, when the Golden Dragon King was at its peak, it was naturally possible to deal with the aliens of the emperor level, but now it is in the state of the soul, and its strength is not as good as before. Only the 2 levels of heaven and earth are slightly better. But fortunately, the 7 figures in front of them were at the previous level, so there was the scene of the crushing just now. Phew! The Golden Dragon King restored control of his body to Xiao Yan's hands. What a huge power! Xiao Yan felt the power in that vortex and couldn't help but say, Master, but these powers are evil powers. Will you directly absorb them like this? Xiao Yan was also worried. Don't worry, I will refine and absorb their power. Although this method is somewhat inferior, otherwise, I don't know that my strength will return to normal that day. The Golden Dragon King also sighed. By the way, when the matter here is finished, I will retreat to absorb these powers. Next, let's take a look at the colorful Yuyan flower. Hearing this, Xiao Yin also nodded and walked towards the colorful Yuyanhua. 7 dark chains that exuded evil aura shattered. The colorful Yuyanhua, which was originally weak under the chains, actually grew a lot at the moment when the chains were broken, and the weak figure seemed to regain some brilliance. What's going on? Xiao Yin was also puzzled. Never heard of such a situation. Normal. In this case, the 7 chains not only limit the growth of the 7 colors healing flower, but also continuously absorb the power of the 7 colors healing flower. When the power of the 7 colors healing flower is almost absorbed, it will be the thing. When the alien race succeeds, if we don't show up within 3 years, something will definitely happen, and then there will be 7 more powerful aliens from the extraterritorial level in this world. The Golden Dragon King is also heavy. Said, put it away first. It's too weak now. Keep nourishing it with your pure lotus demon fire. The colorful Yuyan flower is not only a strange thing, but also likes flames, especially the most pure one like Xiao. Different fire, its recovery will be even greater. The Golden Dragon King also smiled at Xiao Yin as he watched Xiao Yan's efforts and Chikai Yuyanhua failed. That's the only way. Xiao Yin also helplessly did as the Golden Dragon King said. On his finger, the ring bestowed by the ancient emperor Tuasha glowed slowly, and the colorful Yuyan flower in front of him was like a delicious meal. He let Xiao Yin absorb it into the ring and feed it without any extra thought. Inside the ring, Xiao Yin also deliberately opened up an independent space for the colorful Yuyanhua, and the pure power of the source of the different fire kept nourishing it. The colorful Yuyan flower also slowly grew spiritually. The first flower bud slowly grew into a second one. It's time to leave here. Xiao Yin also muttered to himself. After taking a short rest, regained some strength, and then returned along the same path. Little girls, look at your delicate skin and tender meat, say. Where is Xiao Yin? If you don't say anything, don't worry about our savage hands. A bald head smiled wryly at Yueru. Yueru was actually caught by this bald head,